everything like that, we're going to go ahead and jump into this discussion. The main focus of today's discussion is taking a daily inventory, looking at what we're doing on a day-to-day basis so that we can start associating how we're feeling with what we're doing and staying on track of whether or not we're engaging in the right behavior or the wrong behavior. Okay. Now, at this point where somebody is taking it, first off, you don't need to wait until in comparison and looking at a daily inventory while aligning it with any process of recovery. So the daily inventory, when it is being done, it is typically after the restoration has occurred. Now, comparatively, if you were going to restore a car, this would be the point in the car restoration where you have, in fact, done the work, restored the car is drivable. There are just certain things that we need to do to maintain that car remaining to be drivable, such as what? Changing the oil, getting the gas, filling it with gas, washer fluid, cleaning your car, checking the tires, et cetera, et cetera. Just because we've been restored to sanity does not mean there's not more work that has to be done. This is about figuring out what is that work that has to be done, doing the work, and monitoring how changes are occurring throughout my life. I always say that the first thing you need to do is learn how to live your life sober. The second thing you need to do is learn how to live life sober, which means life on life's terms. So you're going to learn how to live your life sober. Maybe you're a parent, you got kids, maybe you have family, you have parents, maybe you have a job, maybe you're in school. Your first thing you need to do is learn how to balance that out and maintain that life that you have to start to manage sober. The next thing you need to do is continue to manage that life while being sober, with other parts of life being thrown in there. There's no telling when life is going to show up at your door. There's no telling when you're going to get into a car accident. There's no telling when a loved one's going to pass away. There's no telling when, bad things are going to happen in our lives. So I need to learn how to stay sober through all the things that I have to do, including all the things that life throws at me. Now, what this step can provide for you is good, hard data on how we are feeling and what we're doing that is generating those feelings or failing to generate the feeling that I want. Maybe you want to be happy. Maybe you haven't been happy in over a fucking decade. Who knows? What we want to look at here is, what am I doing that is failing to generate happiness in my life? Now, again, comparatively, I love comparing methods of recovery to other aspects of goal setting or whatever the case may be. Recently, I've been trying to cut weight. I've been trying to stay in a calorie deficit. Okay. Now, I have cut weight before. And what I did to cut weight was I downloaded an app. Now, this is may be irrelevant to people who don't want to cut weight. Maybe you have no body goals or whatever the case may be, but this is how using a daily inventory can become beneficial on day-to-day tracking, and not only that, but long-term goals. So, bro, I've been tracking what I eat every single day for 4 years. And I mean, for some people, this may sound crazy, but for me, it's not. All right. I've been overweight my whole fucking life. I ain't trying to fucking die of obesity or fucking heart disease or any shit like that. I want to remain healthy. So what's important to me is staying on track of what I put into my body including food, including sugar, including red dye 40 and any other fucking dye out there, high fructose corn syrup, highly processed food. Like literally, the more information you got on this, the more you say, fuck that, I don't want it in my goddamn body. And in order for me to actually see if this actually has an impact on my body, I decided to track my food, to get serious about this. Hey, if you want to get serious about changing your life, start tracking your behavior, start tracking your thought processes, and take pictures of the outcome that is, it's like, look, like chart what the outcome is. In addition to marking the data on what I'm putting into my body as far as macronutrients and calories, I'm taking pictures of the status of my body. So recently I've been saying, bro, I need to cut weight again. I've been bulking too long, eating too much. It's time to get back into it. I went back to my diet from 4 years ago when I was 222 pounds. I'm like 250 right now. And I said to myself, how the fuck did I get to 220 pounds? And I went back to the data and I saw what I was eating. I saw what my exercises were. I saw all of that shit. And I said, okay, I can do that. If I want the results that yielded, I'm going to go ahead and do that. On top of a foundation of new knowledge discovered, new power discovered, new information. You see what I'm saying? Like, part of why my diet got out of hand was because I learned new information about diets, tried new things, and some of those worked, some of them didn't. In combination with those new things that I tried and old knowledge, maybe I can come up with something that really works for me even more long term. I'm not saying that what I'm doing right now isn't bad. Like, bro, just because you're in rehab doesn't mean everything you're doing is bad. You know what I'm saying? It's about taking some of the good that I'm doing, combined with some of the good that I've done in the past, and optimizing my recovery process, optimizing how I'm feeling, optimizing what I'm doing so that I can maybe prevent negative things from happening. You know what looking and monitoring my diet does? Not only does it keep me on track, on top of what I'm eating and how I'm feeling, et cetera, but it also helps me prevent myself from becoming fucking overweight again. It prevents myself from going day after day eating Reese cups and ice cream and cake and saying, nah, it's no problem. Because you know what? That shit, like, by the time I realize I'm overweight, I'm going to be far gone. A lot of people, what you're going to see is doing this daily inventory can maybe prevent a relapse from happening. Have you ever heard the motherfucker say, I relapsed before I even relapsed? If we were actually taking track of what we're doing on our day-to-day, maybe I would have been able to intervene towards my future before bad shit actually happens, because I'm taking time to think and consider new options at the end of my day every day. What we're talking about here is a inventory, and it's an inventory that we're taking on a daily basis. For me to get to the health goals that I want, I have to inventorize my diet and my exercises. For you to get to where you want in life and recovery, we need to inventorize our behaviors and thinking. And that is all 10th step is. 10th step is developing the pattern of inventorizing our behavior. Now, we have done this over what the 10th step is a shortened version of steps 4 through 9. Okay. So like what filling the gas tank and changing the oil is a shortened version of restoring and building a brand new car. It's just a little bit more. It's just a small fraction of maintenance, a little bit of restoration that has to be done to maintain the condition in which we're in. So the reason that the steps 4 through 9 are so difficult is because it's a large restoration. It's a lot of work. It's a big inventory. We're having to inventorize all of our decisions, all of our feelings, all of our character defects and our shortcomings, and make amends to these. That is a lot of information. Here, it's way more abridged. You're just taking a daily inventory on one day at a time. Taking time to think about, was I nice today? Was I happy? Was I serene? Do I owe any amends? Was I stressed out? Was there something that I was supposed to do that I didn't do? Did I do something I wasn't supposed to do? Did I pray today? Did I meditate? Did I reach out to someone in recovery? Did I educate myself? Was today even a good fucking day? Do I owe any amends? Did I make any amends? When you start asking yourself these things over months, maybe 1 month, we'll say, hopefully the goal is for these thoughts to become more automatic. Now, if I'm like, say every day I'm writing, one of the questions is, was I stressed today? If every day I'm saying, yes, I was stressed today, I should look at that. I should say to myself, why am I stressed every day? How come every single day I'm writing yes to I'm stressed? You know what I'm saying? Why every single day am I telling myself I'm going to do this thing and I'm not doing it? So a week has gone by. I continuously tell me I'm going to do this thing. And here we are a week later and I haven't done it. Maybe I feel stressed because of this behavior. Maybe I feel stressed because of that behavior. And actually building an association between how we feel and what we're doing. And to really dive into this and to begin, I mean, we've already begun the discussion, but to really dive into the importance of building this understanding, I'm going to define emotion real quick because we're talking about feelings. Feelings are emotional states or reactions. So an emotion is what we're going to define. So if a feeling, right? Feeling, emotional state or reaction. So your feelings are either a state that you're in, like a constant state. Maybe you're happy, whatever, or reaction. So you're either in a state of being or you're reacting to something with emotions. Like emotions, this isn't a physical state. This isn't a spiritual state. This is an emotional state. And what does it mean to be in an emotional state? An emotion is a natural instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstances, moods, and relationships with people, objects, and concepts. So if you feel stressed, there is a natural, instinctive cause of that state of mind. That's what this definition says. There is something causing that state of mind. And the three things listed below are the exact, dude, my fucking lips are chapping, are the exact things, moments, whatever, that are creating that feeling. Let's put stressed. Okay. Stress is exactly what you would feel. Like, for you to feel some other feeling, you need to do some other shit. You follow me? Like, if you're stressed, that's because of your past circumstances or future circumstances. Maybe you're stressed out about something in the future. Maybe you're stressed about something in the past. Maybe you're stressed about something right now. It's some circumstance. It's some event. It's a course of events that may be generating the outcome of being stressed. it's not just not like maybe you're stressed because of financial obligations. Okay. It's not the, there are many circumstances that lead to stress. And if I can start to take advantage of these situations and try to act a different way, then maybe the outcome will not be. If I can take different action, maybe I can derive a different emotion. So circumstances, also moods, like actually maybe I'm stressed because I'm depressed. Maybe I'm stressed because I'm anxious. Maybe I'm stressed because I'm hungry. Maybe I'm stressed because I'm in pain. Maybe I'm stressed because I'm uncomfortable. Maybe I'm stressed because of the relationship. I have a relationship with a person like a PO, or maybe the relationship with my wife is stressing me out because they're going to get a divorce, or stress in a relation. Maybe you yourself stress you out, dude. Maybe you're the person. Yeah, naturally, naturally, anybody who is in your shoes would be stressed out, motherfucker. Like, yeah, that would make sense. You got a lot of shit going on. You have a lot of fucking problems. Anybody who is in that situation would be distressed. Objects cause stress. Maybe deadlines cause you stress. Maybe computers cause you stress. Maybe TV remote controls, you're like the fucking thing. Maybe those things cause you stress, right? Concepts, there's ideas that make us stress out. And if you're not seeing these things as, obviously anyone who is in these situations experiencing these types of circumstances, these moods in a combination, would have this feeling generated. And if you're, a lot of people don't see that. They say to themselves, why am I depressed? And dude, remember that, that place in life? That is a horrifying place to be, where you are depressed and you have no idea why. You're like looking around for something that is the cause of your depression, when in reality, the answer is me. I'm the cause of my depression. Maybe my behaviors or my perspective is directly influencing my depression, but people don't believe that. Or if they actually do believe that, they're afraid to believe that because that's an indicator that they're going to have to do work to get out of it. Like, there's so much that goes into this, right? Which is why taking this daily inventory can at least make you aware. Now, awareness is not enough. Knowledge is not enough. You also need the power to do so. But if you're not taking this inventory, getting this information, gathering this data, then these fucking feelings are a shot in the fucking dark, dude. Like, how the fuck are you going to know how you feel when we've had feelings on demand for who knows how long? I mean, naturally, somebody in active addiction may have a difficult time identifying and inventorizing their feelings if they have no idea what certain feelings feel like, because they've avoided the feelings for so long through drugs and alcohol. Maybe you actually don't know what boredom feels like. Maybe you don't know what stress feels like. Maybe you don't know what boredom or happiness or joy actually feel like, because every time you've had the opportunity to feel it before, you've numbed it with drugs and alcohol. So, which means I'm having to go through an entire learning process of emotions, period. I need to learn how to feel these feelings again. And just feeling the feeling is an experience itself. Then taking that experience and looking at it, trying to gather data from it, maybe a journey that some people have never even thought was even possible their entire life. And it's about there's actual things that you can do to start getting this information and tracking this data. And if you're unable to do it yourself, there are tools out there that can help facilitate. Like, I wasn't able to write down and track all of my food intake and calories and exercises without the app. Like, I downloaded the app, dude. I'm not going to write that shit down. You know what I mean? I found an easier way for me to complete this inventory. Bro, you're not going to sit down and do steps 4 through 9 every fucking day. You know what I mean? So this is a tool that you could use to complete this daily inventory. Like an app. You know what I mean? It's like helps you complete this. Any questions so far? I kind of wanted to give you guys a brief summary on what is a daily inventory and the importance of it. So now maybe you start discovering, I feel this way. Maybe you start discovering the feelings or the causes that lead to this feeling. Now the question of morals comes in. Okay, yeah, maybe you're stressed because of work. Every day you're writing down, I'm stressed because of work. This is where morals come in. Is it right for you to experience or expose yourself to that amount of stress? Like, you have to ask yourself that. Should I continue to expose myself to this stress? Well, fuck, dude. I mean, David, we're talking about opening a fucking gym, dude. You know, so in that process, stress is involved. And is it right for me to experience this? Like opening a company, there is a major amount of stress involved. Why, in your opinion, what is the value that's going to come from exposing yourself to high amounts of stress?
I mean, there's all building blocks that you'll learn from to maintain and successfully run this business, you know, based off what you've put yourself through, hopefully in a manageable rate. But yeah, I mean, like they talk about, you know, there is such a thing as good stress. It's not all bad stress.
Exactly. And it's like, yo, your stress, it's going to get you to retire. You're already fucking, you're going to be making like guap, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's why I'm putting myself through this amount of stress. It's like, yo, I am like someone who's every single day breaking their fucking back, doing slave type labor for $10 an hour, coming home hating their life. Is it worth that much stress for that fucking job? Or can you do a different fucking job? You know what I mean? Here you are every day going through stress, having to do this, but the payoff is fucking worth it. Like it's right to expose myself to this. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, here you are finding, oh, there's good stress out there. Like all stress isn't bad. And some people avoid accomplishing their goals like you're doing and their dreams out of fear of stress, dude. They're afraid to be stressed out. They're afraid to lose sleep. They're afraid to fucking make phone calls, dude. And that's all it is one day at a time making a phone call. That's it. You know, just little steps like that that lead to these big dreams. And people think, no, it's wrong. I shouldn't do that. That's not the way. They're looking for some other fucking faster, easier way. I'm telling you, bro, nothing like good old fashioned work. And oh, I must be loud. And what we're doing here is trying to build an association between what I'm feeling, what I'm doing. Is it right for me to do this? Is it wrong for me to do this? Like, bro, if you're tired, maybe you're tired from going to fucking IOP all day or PHP all day, then going to a meeting and going to the gym and cooking. And that's a fucking busy day, dude. Like, yeah, you should be tired. You see what I'm saying? It's like people say, why am I so tired? This is bullshit. It's like, bro, maybe you should be tired. Maybe it's right for you to be tired. Maybe you should take a nap. You know what I mean? And this is maybe it's not good for you to be tired, right? Maybe it's not. Why am I tired? I'm not doing anything. I go to group. I go home. I lay down. I'm always tired. Bro, that's not okay. You shouldn't always be tired. That is something to look at. What are you doing that is making you so fucking tired all the time? And that's something to look at. What might be generating tiredness? Is it staying up late? Is it caffeine intake? Is it poor sleeping patterns? Is it a light exposure too late at night? Is it not getting morning sun in the morning? Is it the medications I'm on? Is it stress I have? Like, figuring and questioning these things can help you get to these answers. Okay. If there are no more questions, let's jump into it. And that's only one part. The second part is promptly admitting when we're wrong. So in the cases where we are in fact incorrect, it's about promptly admitting it. So we don't have to make a larger amends later on. I don't have to go around saying I'm sorry to people for shit that I did fucking a long time ago. It's like we're promptly defending the person in which we have become. Through working the first 9 steps, our lives have changed dramatically, way beyond what we expected when we first came in. We've become more honest, humble, and concerned about others, less fearful, selfish, and resentful. But even such profound changes aren't guaranteed to be permanent. Because we have a disease of addiction, we can always return to what we were before. Recovery has a price. It demands our vigilance. We have to continue doing all the things we have been doing for our recovery so far. We have to continue to be honest, to have trust and faith, to pay attention to our actions and reactions, and to assess how those are working for us or against us. We also have to pay attention to how our actions affect others, and when the effects are negative or harmful, promptly step forward and take responsibility for the harm caused and for repairing it. In short, we have to continue to take personal inventories and promptly admit our wrongs. This step pretty much has us repeat some of the work that we did in 4 through 9, though in a much shortened format. The format suggested in this guide is one that covers in a general way the elements of a personal inventory. Some of us may find that we need to add questions that focus on specific areas that are affecting our individual recovery to the questions already in this guide. We may find some additional areas upon to focus on from the IP step number 9, IP number 9, living the program. Our sponsor may have specific directions for us at this point, but this guide is meant to be a starting point, not the final word. Now we're going to get into feeling versus doing. So I kind of like ask these questions already. We use step 10 to create and maintain a continuous awareness of what we're feeling, thinking, and more importantly, doing. Before we begin a regular pattern of a personal inventory, it's imperative that we understand what we are assessing. It won't do much good to list out our feelings without tying them to the actions that they generate or fail to generate. We often may be feeling badly, though having behaved very well, or vice versa. For instance, a member walks into her home group. "How are you?" someone asks. "Terrible," she replies. Of course, this member is referring to the way she feels. She can't possibly be referring to what she's doing because she is behaving very well indeed. She's going to a meeting, honestly expressing how she feels, and reaching out to another member who will be supportive. On the other hand, we may be busy indulging our impulses and acting on character defects. On the surface, we may feel very good. It usually takes a while before we notice the emptiness that goes along with living this way. We're avoiding the work that will help us stay clean. We're indulging in our impulses and taking the easy way out. And we know where this will take us. Step 10 keeps us aware of ourselves so we don't go to either extreme. We don't have to beat ourselves up because we feel badly. We can instead focus on the positive action we're taking. It may even turn out that by shifting our focus this way, we'll wind up feeling better too. Staying aware of what we're doing helps us see a pattern of destruction long before we become entrenched, so we don't wind up feeling good at a cost of what is good for us. We as addicts also tend to make judgments about what we're feeling. Anything that makes us feel bad, we immediately want to stop. We often take into account that the way we're feeling makes perfect sense when we consider the circumstances. For instance, many of us have problems being angry. We don't like the way it feels. We judge it, concluding we have no right to feel that way. Then we do our very best to suppress our angry feeling. Yet, we may be experiencing a situation that would make anyone angry. Perhaps we're in a relationship with someone who constantly fails to treat us with respect. Perhaps we've been passed over for several well deserved promotions at work. Our response to these situations is anger. We've been treated poorly. Of course, we're angry. Our response to these situations is anger. Oh, we've been treated poorly. Of course, we're angry. Now comes the moment when our recovery can propel us forward into greater self respect, or our disease can drag us down into a thick fog of depression and resentment. It all has to do with how we respond to our anger. If we scream and curse and throw things, we'll destroy any possibility of making our relationship or job situation better. If we do nothing and bury our feelings of anger, we become depressed and resentful. And that won't improve our situation either. But if we take positive action aimed at improving the situation, it might get better. At the very least, we'll know when it's time to leave and be able to do so without regrets. Sometimes the only thing we need to do with our feelings is feel them. We don't need to react to them. For instance, if we lost someone, we are going to feel sorrow. Our sorrow may go on for a long time. It will lift when we've grieved sufficiently. We can't afford to let our sorrow drag us down to the point where we can't go on with our lives, but we should expect to be affected. We may be easily distracted or have a hard time participating in activities that are supposed to be enjoyable. We need to strike a balance between being in denial of our feelings and letting them overwhelm us. We don't want to go to either extreme. This seems like a simple concept, almost as if it could go without saying, but many of our members share it takes years of recovery before we're able to achieve this balance. So, this inventory grants us the freedom to feel our feelings by helping us see the difference between feeling and doing. What are some things that feel really good but are bad? What are some things that feel really good but are bad?
Comfort food.
Junk food?
Comfort food.
Comfort
You
food.
know,
Yep.
all the pasta and cheeses and stuff.
Oh, pasta, bro.
Using.
Pizza. Using. Fuck yeah. Using. Smoking. Dude, being lazy. What else feels good but is bad? Affairs. Like having sex with someone. That feels great, but it's not that good sometimes, you know? Feels good but is bad. Driving fast. Gambling. Being what else? Feels good but is bad. That's a good list, right? What
With the driving fast and engaging in high risk situations, you get the adrenaline rush, but ultimately not good.
Right. What about feels bad but is good?
Working out sometimes. I mean, it feels good, but
Detox. Working out. Like detoxing feels like shit, but it's really good for you, dude. You're getting that drug out of your system. Hell yeah. Working out feels like I'm going to die, but dude, you're actually doing really good. Good job. Feels bad, but is good. Forgiveness. What feels bad, but is good? Is it possible that I can start to see the things that feel good but are bad as good? Like, is it possible for me to start to like comfort food feels so good, I believe it's good? Like, is it possible that maybe drugs feel so good, I start to think that it's good for me and I'm a better worker? Is it possible that these bad things, like working out, but is good, can actually feel good? Forgiveness can start to feel good. Maybe comfort food, even though it feels good, maybe it starts to feel bad. I don't know. These are like interesting things. Like over the course of time, do these things start to change? Right? Like over the course of time, maybe comfort food doesn't feel so good. You know, well, like recently, bro, I'm like, dude, I've like not been able to breathe, dude. I've been like eating so much. It's not like bad food. I've just been eating a lot of it. And I'll eat so much and I'm like, oh, I can't fucking breathe, dude. It's like crazy. And it's like that. I mean, I'm not eating anything bad, but the amount I'm eating is bad. This is where quality and quantity come into play, right? Maybe like people may say, dude, I'm going to the gym. I'm not getting any results. Maybe your quality of effort you're putting into the gym and the quantity of time or exercise you're doing isn't enough. Or maybe it's too much. This is where the right versus wrong comes in, right? Are there times in your life when you're confused about the difference between your feelings and your actions? Are there times in your life when you're confused about the difference between your feelings and your actions?
Yeah.
Can you expand on that a little bit? Tell me a little bit more about like what that's like.
It's just like every time I relapse and keep coming back to treatment, I know to do the right thing and know not to take off. But I got an impulse and be like, I'm gonna hurt, and I know it's not gonna mind, you know what I mean? But I know my mind knows to do the right thing, not that I can't cook, I can't do my for nothing. I don't do that.
So
the action.
Yeah, so you kind of when you're in rehab, you're confused because what you're doing is the right thing, but you don't feel like it's the right thing. I mean, am I right on that or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Thank you for sharing. Any times where we become confused about the difference between what I'm feeling and my actions?
Well, to elaborate on that a little bit, I mean, we will by nature convince ourselves we're doing the wrong thing because we want to do the wrong thing. So we're like telling ourselves that what we're actually doing is right is not right, or a different way, so we can convince ourselves it's okay to do the wrong thing.
And it's like we're justifying that on a feeling. Like I'm justifying doing the wrong thing because it feels good, not because it's right, not because it's okay, not because it's going to make me a better person. It just feels good. And feelings aren't even facts. Just because it feels good doesn't mean it is actually good. And it's up to me to start building an association by saying, damn, maybe I don't feel good because I'm doing things that aren't good. And that's where you start to say, well, what things am I doing are not good? Which of what I'm doing is right and which of what I'm doing is wrong? Which feeling am I feeling is the right feeling to feel? Which feeling is the wrong feeling to feel? And if I'm not staying on top of these feelings and these doings, then it's pretty easy for them to just get out of hand and I lose track of them. And I don't know how I ended up here. And that's a scary place to be because I mean, I may be in a very high emotional state or a very, yeah, we'll say an emotional place and I need some answers and I can't get those answers. This is the beginning of discovering those answers. So what we're going to do now is because I only got you like for another hour, I'm going to give you guys a break now. We're going to come back at like 2:05-ish and we're going to jump into right versus wrong. So we've talked about feeling versus doing, and everybody's like we're all saying what happens is right and wrong, our morals start to get distorted. So we're going to see what can the inventory do for us in realigning our morals when we start to do the work. So come on back in like 15 minutes and we'll keep on moving with this.